Welcome home, Mule Riders. The fall semester at SAU is slightly condensed. School starts on Tuesday, August 11th and concludes on Friday, November 20th. This means things are going to be a little different this year. First and foremost, we need y'all to mask up everywhere you go. A great thing about athletics is that we know how to be flexible and adjust at a moment's notice. With that being said, let's get started. I am Sage Woodham, and I will be your host for today's slightly different yet very important back-to-school meeting. I am the Assistant Athletic Director for Internal Operations. My roles include Senior Woman Administrator, Compliance and Eligibility Officer, Title IX Committee, Student Athlete Advisory Committee, and Chi Alpha Sigma. You can reach me by phone, email, or by coming by the office, which is HKR 119. By the way, all athletic admin and athletic training offices are in W.T. Watson. Steve Browning is our fearless leader and athletic director. Chris Vann is our facilities and events manager as well as our athletics diversity and inclusion designee. Jacob Pumphrey is our director of athletic communications. Steve Dingman is your faculty athletics representative and Chi Alpha Sigma advisor. Ken Cole is your head athletic trainer. Murray Watkins is an assistant athletic trainer. Rachel Gillespie is an assistant athletic trainer. The Student Athlete Handbook is only available online. You can access it by going to our Muleriders Athletics homepage. There, you can read through it online or you can download it as a PDF. All of the information covered in today's presentation is in this handbook. However, there's more information in the handbook for you to read through. Most of you already know about Jump Forward, but for those of you who do not, Jump Forward is a new software system that you will use to access and fill out forms, access team events, check Cara logs, and more. To access your account, returners will log in using their SAU student IDs, including the dash. Incoming student athletes will log in using their SAU email. You will need to download the app or access the site via computer in order to complete the login and create a password. After watching this presentation, you will need to go to your outstanding forms and complete the Student Athlete Agreement, SAU Media Release, Academic Records Release, NCAA forms, and AT forms. You must complete all of these forms in order to practice and compete for SAU. At SAU, we are committed to creating a discrimination-free environment, and we are attuned to listening to our students. We encourage all of our students to feel safe, as well as feel free to speak to us if they feel they have been or know someone whose rights have been violated. I serve on the SAU's Title IX committee, and I encourage all of you to visit the Title IX website to learn more about what we do if you have been a victim of gender discrimination, how to submit a report, how to contact someone, and what you can do to help someone who has been a victim of gender discrimination. In January, the NCAA unanimously approved the proposal for universities to designate someone to be the primary contact for diversity, inclusion, information, and education. Chris Vann is the SAU Athletics Diversity and Inclusion Designee. We value what makes each of you different. Please contact Chris or me if you find yourself in a situation where you need to talk to someone. We are all ears and we are here for you. This section is all about your eligibility. It is your responsibility to be knowledgeable about and to maintain your eligibility. After all, I cannot go to class or make decisions for you. Initial eligibility. Incoming freshmen need to pay attention. The NCAA Eligibility Center determines your initial eligibility. This year, it is based on your first 6 semesters of high school. They will make sure that you took at least 10 core courses during that time and finished with a minimum of a 2.20 GPA. If you look at your account and it says that you are a final qualifier or final non-qualifier with a COVID-19 waiver, you have been academically certified and are able to compete provided you have completed everything else the NCAA needs from you. Please make sure that you have your high school counselor upload your final transcript to the Eligibility Center account. Amateurism is for all incoming student athletes. You must request your final amateurism through the Eligibility Center. If you do not, you will not be able to compete. Good academic standing at SAU depends on how many hours you have passed. From 1 to 29 hours, you must maintain a cumulative GPA of a 1.5. If you have passed 30 hours or more, you must maintain a 2.0 cumulative GPA. From semester to semester, you must pass at least 9 hours in order to have a shot at competing. From fall to fall, you must pass at least 24 hours. After your 4th semester, you must pass 24 hours annually that will count towards your degree. For example, if you pass 9 hours in the fall and 9 hours in the spring, you must take 6 hours in the summer in order to be eligible for the next fall. If you pass 14 hours in the fall and 10 hours in the spring, you would be eligible provided you are in good academic standing. Seasons of eligibility versus semesters used. Very simply put, you have 10 semesters to play in 4 seasons of competition in any one sport. If we dig a little deeper, you use a semester every time you enroll full-time and attend class. If you are listening to this, I assume you want to compete and so you're enrolled full-time for this fall. Once you attend class, you've used one of your 10 semesters, even if you only went to one class. Most student athletes only need 8 semesters to get 4 seasons of competition in, but if you are redshirted in your freshman year or you get injured sometime in your career, you may need the 9th and 10th semesters in order to compete your final season. Full-time is 12 hours for undergrads and 6 hours for grads. You have to maintain these hours in order to be eligible to practice and compete. If, for whatever reason, you feel like you need to drop a class, you need to let your coach know, then you need to come to me. Do not drop a class without getting my approval. I check for things that your coaches and advisors don't. When changing majors, you need to have a written request to change your major on file with your advisor. Again, after your 4th semester, you must pass at least 24 hours towards your major. Extra benefits are anything that someone gives you that is not for the team or that every student at SAU has access to. Some examples of extra benefits are money, clothes, transportation, gift cards, and more. As student athletes, you are looked at and adored by so many. The people of Magnolia are the best, and they love to support SAU athletics. They have big hearts and want to treat you like their own. There are nice ways to turn down gifts that will show character and integrity. For example, if someone in town wants to pay for your meal at a restaurant, kindly explain that they don't need to do that, and they can show their support by coming out to your next home competition. Now, there are exceptions, like if your coach is feeding your team on the road, your parents or your roommate's parents are in town and they want to take y'all out. Also, there's a thing called an occasional meal. An occasional meal must be approved by me, and each student athlete only gets 2 a month. You've all seen or heard the "don't bet on it" slogan? Well, this is in regards to a student athlete's participation in any form of sports wagering. This includes directly betting on sporting events, but it also includes fantasy leagues and March Madness. If you participate in this, you are risking a season of competition as well as having to repay all earnings. Next is a message from your athletic trainers. Attention all SAU student athletes. You will need to watch the NCAA drug testing video as well as the NCAA concussion education video prior to participating in any activity with your team. A link to both will be sent to you via your SAU email. It is extremely important that you understand and cooperate with us as best as you can during these trying times. With that being said, the possible symptoms that are associated with the COVID-19 virus are cough, shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, fever, chills, muscle pain, sore throat, and a new loss of taste or smell. Other less common symptoms that have been reported in cases to those who have tested positive for COVID-19 include gastrointestinal symptoms like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. Here at SAU, we are implementing a COVID-19 symptom reporting procedure to ensure that we are taking the correct steps towards providing the safest return to school and sport as possible. The symptom reporting procedure is as follows. A student athlete must stay home and not attend any workouts if they are not feeling well or if she or he has any COVID-19 symptoms or has tested positive for COVID-19. Student athletes must report any symptoms to the SAU athletic training staff if symptoms develop during workouts, practices, or competitions. Symptoms should be reported as soon as possible. It is better to err on the side of caution during this time and not delay or write off any related symptoms. You should report symptoms to the SAU athletic training staff and your primary care physician. Reporting must come to the athletic training staff first. They will then contact University Health. It is very important to notify the SAU athletic training staff as soon as possible in order to notify, trace, and quarantine those who you were in contact with. The SAU athletic training staff will then give instructions on what to do once you have made a report. Notification of symptoms should be made through email, text, or phone correspondence. This should not be done face-to-face. Please contact the SAU athletic training staff if you have any questions or need to report your symptoms. Their contact information was at the beginning of this video. It is also available on MuleriderAthletics.com. Thank you so much for watching Mulerider Athletics Beginning of the Year Compliance and Athletic Training Meeting. We appreciate your attention and cooperation through this unprecedented year. You are leaders on this campus, and it is up to you to pave the way for sports to be played. Please make sure you are checking your SAU email and fill out all assigned forms through Jump Forward. Go Mule Riders!